And hello everyone, good morning and good afternoon. This is Robin Tong speaking, and it is my final week's assignment, the digital short, and it is the final assignment in Imagine Justice class. So today I'm going to pour into the issue of discrimination. And after reading MLK letters from Birmingham Jail and notes of a negative song by Bowling James, I'd like to learn more about racial discrimination in America. Both of the two books discuss black people in America. Uh, and in this digital short, there are many posts about black people in America, and I have to see that this is not a paper of a peer. It is an overall introduction and analysis of black people living circumstance. In the digital short, I read a lot of news and a myriad of articles, and I employ statistics, graphs, and examples to make my viewpoint coherent. So, the first point is that there are few jobs for black people because blacks have no means of production, no good education and training. Their chances of finding jobs were much lower than those of other ethnic groups, and we could see from the two graphs and statistics. In both of this, we could see a clearly difference in statistics between white and black people in when they are finding jobs. So what does the survey find that is that blacks with work experience over 10 years earned percent 20 less than white with the same time of working experience. And what's more, blacks with 10 years of work experience earned less percent 15 less than whites with 10 years. So a black woman with 10 years of work experience or person 10 less than white woman with the same experience. So we could see a very unjust discrimination in black and white and with their salaries when they are fighting for jobs. And my second point is that the medical situation of black people is unsatisfied. Because of the virus this year, coronavirus is more likely to put uh, your life in danger if you are black people. So Bloomberg.com reported on 2020 that the gap has widened as the number of class cases across the United States has soared. Since April, public health experts and lawmakers have making pushing the federal government to release more data and try to close the gap. Without national data, the picture of racial health in the United States remains incomplete. Available statistics will show that black Americans are most affected by the virus. Studies after study reveals that the same gene reality, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, blacks make up percent 20 of the population, where more than 100 people have died, nearly twice as the national population. Further, in part one, we talk about there are few jobs available for black people, but now we are talking about the high unemployment rate for black people. Last year, I studied pedagogy for a quarter in New York. In one case, I'm assigned to be a teacher assistant in one school. So without living and working here, it could hard to believe that most black people are losing their jobs. This uneven downturn has been reflected in the jobs report. And according to this graph, we could see the statistic. The official U.S. unemployment rate hit percent 14 in April, but the unemployment rate for white has was percent 14.2 compared with percent 18.9 for white people. However, the official unemployment rate only ended in mid-April, and since the other percent 14.3 Americans have applied for unemployment benefits, and that will make any May's unemployment rate even higher and could further widen the gap between racial and ethnic unemployment rate. So it is a study by the Fortune magazine. And the Fortune magazine teamed up with SurveyMonkey to conduct the survey on May 20, based on a sample of 4,000 American adults. The model errors estimate fluctuated by no more than 2.5 percentage points. The results were weighted for age, race, sex, education, and geography. So, our second next point is that after talking about black people's jobs, we were talking about black women. Black women in America are still struggling with discrimination. So, due to the unemployment we talked about, um, please some black women inevitably break the rules for a while. Poverty and poor medical care have greatly impaired the health of black women, and 208 reported by Center of Disease Control and Prevention said a virus that causes cervical cancer is common among black teenager girls. So black women are still stigmatized and bullied because of the stereotype of ignorance, rudeness, and debauchery. There are many vicious incidents of black women being hidden, harnessed, and even raped. However, they dare not speak out because public opinion and relevant departments often think that something happened for a reason, and the responsibility is on them. So, today, African American women are not no longer slaves, but they are still discriminated against. So, the last point: separation cannot bring equality. So, what do you see is the Green Book. The Green Book is uh, a really famous book in the history of Black people and the America. And so the in the past, the Green Book is a kind of law that do not make the white people and black people together. So during this time, black residents to the black Green Book continued to argue that segregation does not lead to equality. At that time, black lawyers offered up scores of tests that psychologists have done on children So in one study, for example, taste how black children choose dolls that look differently races. The results shows that the black children did not choose and were more like the black doll, but not easy to choose the human dolls. These children have been brought up to believe that white is the better color. So it is all content in my digital short and is my work cited. And thank you for watching my presentation. And thank you, Professor Joseph. And I think you are a very kind and board teacher and professor. And thanks you a lot for doing so much for us. And uh, I think you help a lot for me and um, good have a good weekend. Bye.